So, we're going to be talking about Creed right now, okay? And the first, we're going to do a non-spoiler review. Okay, well, first of all, I'm a huge Rocky fan. Star Wars and Rocky are my two things. They're my two favorite franchises and things. I love Rocky ever since I saw the first one, which was, it's so classic. It's a classic tale of, a guy coming from nowhere trying to get fame. That movie, Stallone, in general, I'm just going to talk about Stallone right now. This is a guy who had one idea and spawned into 6 more movies. That's amazing.
Relatively successful.
That's amazing. And yeah, he was Rambo. He did all this other stuff, but he's not like he's not like Schwarzenegger. Or I love The Rock, but he's not like The Rock. Like,
it's also because he wrote them.
I know he's a one of a kind in Hollywood. He wrote them. He had a script. He had to sell his dog, and then he gets the script up. Midway through production, he got his dog back. This dude is Rocky. He was Rocky making this movie.
So sad. I never knew that.
I never knew that either. What?
You didn't know that?
His dog?
Oh my god, the story to how the first Rocky was made is amazing.
Well, I know he had to argue to fight to get himself cast.
Right, so he wanted to be he felt so passionate about it. He wanted to be cast in it. And the thing, if you ask me my favorite movies of all time, Rocky's in the top 5. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. And it's because his performance, it's a tale we've seen before. And people have copied Rocky. People have copied the formula, guy from nothing. But just his performance in the movie brought something to it unlike anything else. And that is why there have been all these sequels, because there's always a message to it. There's always all this stuff. And he is great. And I got to tell you right now, his performance in Creed is the best performance he's given since the first Rocky.
I'd agree.
Justin Saab, what did you think? Non-spoilers.
Okay.
Just general thoughts leaving the theater.
Got it. I thought his performance...
Well, the whole movie.
Okay, the whole movie itself. I thought it was life-changing.
Oh, really?
It was amazing. It made me want to change my whole career path. I'm like, should I
Seriously?
be a boxer now? And then I left the theater, and I'm like, all right, that's completely irrational. I'm 5'7" and weigh 140 pounds, maybe, on a good day.
You guys actually haven't seen the other Rocky movies?
No.
Tonight.
No.
Tonight. You're
Wait,
seeing Winter Soldier and then the Rocky
Have you
movies.
do you think you saw one or?
I'm pretty sure I actually, now thinking back to it, I did see at least parts of the first one.
You would know, because this movie's amazing.
I actually, when I saw the first Rocky movie, it was me and my dad sitting down on the couch watching it, and it was a school night. I was in, I guess, middle school. And my mom was out late, and she comes back in at the very end of the movie. She's like, "What are you doing up? Go to bed." I'm like, "Let me finish Rocky." She's like, "Go to bed." My dad stood up. He's like, "Let him finish Rocky." So my dad stood up for me so I could finish watching
Let
Rocky.
the boy watch.
But if he didn't do that, I would have left and not seen the end. The best part.
Let the boy watch. Okay, this is what I'll say about Creed. So this is the 7th movie. This is also a spin-off, basically, of the franchise. So
yeah.
I thought this movie did a perfect job of having enough nostalgia to the franchise and references going back, while also being its own thing. It wasn't like...
Yeah, there definitely were callbacks to the rest of the Rocky franchise, but it added enough original content to where it could be its own standalone movie.
And Absolutely. I can't wait
and
until Creed 6.
Oh, God.
I can't... Well, I'm just saying, it
didn't use Rocky as a crutch.
Right. And
I
can only hope Star Wars does something like this. What they did in this movie, I hope Star Wars can do, because this was done so well. Everything, if you would just list things that happen in the movie, you're like, oh man, every time I thought something about that was stupid was about to happen, they went another direction, they went a different way, and I was like, oh my God, that worked.
With Creed?
With Creed, yeah. So basically, just to give you a synopsis of what the movie's about, and stop me if you think I'm forgetting anything.
Okay.
But this is Apollo Creed's son, not the son he had with his wife from the other movies, Mary Ann. This is a son out of wedlock, and if you've seen Rocky 4, sorry guys, Apollo Creed dies, and so this child was
but no spoilers.
This child was given out of wedlock, and he went into foster care, bunch of foster homes, and then Mary Ann, so Apollo's actual wife, gets him
and took him in. Right.
So this is a child from foster homes and of wealth. Not like Rocky in the first, where he's just a bum on the street trying to find his way. This guy came from wealth, but he still wants to be a boxer. He still has the boxing in his heart. He's getting fights in prison. He's like, this guy is a fighter. even gets a promotion towards the very beginning of the movie, and then he quits. He's like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm a fighter.
Right.
So he's not getting the support he needs in L.A. So where does he go? He goes to Philadelphia, baby, where we are. City of Brotherly Love.
City of Brotherly Love.
Yeah,
Love it.
and it's not like he goes there to meet Rocky, but it's not
Right.
like, oh, I want you to train me. He's like, I know you knew my dad and all this stuff, and he has to convince him to train him. It wasn't just like a Rocky 5 where he's training
Where
Tommy
Rocky's
Gunn.
like, all right, cool. I'll drop
Yeah.
my whole life and train this kid.
He had to convince him.
Yeah.
He had to completely convince him, and it made a lot of
Everything
sense.
just flowed seamlessly.
Right.
There were no awkward parts, and it was just perfect.
So I think we're getting into the part where it might be getting spoilery.
We're not going to get into any spoilers
No,
yet.
you
I'm
don't-
just
you
giving you a
don't think so?
general. I'm just giving you a general.
Okay.
General review.
All right.
Just what I was saying earlier about like every time I thought something stupid was about to happen, they went a different direction. It was cool. Like everything made sense in a really good way. Like I believed it. Usually in the Rocky movies, that something happens, that something needs to happen for them to get to the final fight.
Right.
Like it's the thing that the process that it undertook made sense. I believed the love interest. I believed everything about
There was
the movie.
nothing unrealistic.
There might have been one
Everything
moment,
was pretty plausible.
which we'll talk about in the spoiler, that I might have had a little bit of a problem with, but overall, I was so satisfied. And okay, so talk about that long take.
Which one?
The second fight.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all one take. It's
that was
all one
beautiful.
take.
That
It
was
was unbelievable. It was like 4 minutes, all one take. A fight. They showed 2 rounds. It was nuts. They did it 13 times, apparently.
It is beautiful.
Just that alone should make you go see it in the theater.
That
It's
is a total of 52 minutes
52
of
minutes.
straight taking shots 13 times. 4.
Vito,
That's
the
nuts,
human
right?
calculator.
I did it.
You did it. Nice. But like this, the setup. So first off, I'm just gonna say something real quick. I was an extra in this movie.
That's what I was gonna just about to ask you.
Thank you, Shane.
He's actually the star.
Yeah, so I know everything about it. No, I don't. I'm in the final. I'm in the very end of the movie. In the final fight, I'm in the crowd, and I got to see it. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about before we get into spoilers was the director Ryan Coogler. So this is the guy who did Fruitvale Station, and the best part about that movie is the emotion in it.
Yeah.
So this is not the direct son of Apollo Creed, but he is Apollo Creed's son. Rocky needs to train him, and it's basically it's a rehash of the first one while it's its own thing, which I loved.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Basically,
And it had a perfect amount of callbacks.
yes.
It just wasn't too many to the point where it was overbearing.
And Rocky, like I was worried it was going to be a movie focused on Creed, and Rocky's there. Rocky
Right.
played an awesome part in it. Like
Yeah.
everyone
It wasn't
around him has
another
died.
Rocky movie.
He doesn't have any friends anymore. Everyone around him's dead.
They're all dead.
Or passed away or moved. His son moved. His son's in Canada or whatever. So
Yeah.
he's all alone. He has his restaurant that he had from Rocky Balboa,
Yeah.
and he needs like some purpose, and he gets it with Creed. It's the best Rocky movie since the first one.
I'd agree.
I'll go first. I'm going to give Creed a 9.5. I absolutely loved it. I'm that high. It's that good. I think it's the best Rocky movie since the first one. And yeah, I mean, it hit so many great notes for me. Nostalgia, and it's its own thing. The performances were fantastic. It had emotion. It had great camera work. That one fight scene. It had a great soundtrack. I already said the performances, and Stallone's just fantastic. It's the 7th film, and it's still great. I just think that's an accomplishment of its own. So I give it a 9.5 out of 10. What do you think, J-Dubs?
I would say that I would give it an 8.9
8.9.
or a 9.
8.9. I think that's good. Yeah,
Because I couldn't see it as a classic. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I'd say this is just one of those films of the year,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when I think 10, like a 10 film,
Yeah,
I think it's a film that
perfect
defines
film.
a decade,
right.
you know.
This isn't perfect. It's not a perfect movie,
But it's damn good.
but it's damn good.
Yeah.
And I
think
love
I
Rocky.
think one of the reasons you gave it so high is because you love Rocky so much.
Oh yeah, and it connected. I mean,
Yeah, you had that personal
Absolutely.
connection.